Hello everyone, I'm Jody Lynn and thank you so much for joining us today. I have Cindy from Beyond 50 Skin here. I'm so excited to have you. Welcome, Cindy.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yes, and we are going to be sharing our before and after results using the Nira Pro. I'm super excited to see and hear about your results. So yeah, this is going to be super fun. But Cindy, can you tell us a little bit about you and your channel?
Yes. Hi, my name is Cindy, and I started YouTube around 2022 to help women with discovering skincare at 50. I was terrible about my skincare for years, and I realized that I looked in the mirror at around 52 and my face had just completely changed. And so I got on the bandwagon with skincare, and so I started this channel just to share the news with other women over 50.
And I love your channel, and you also do some makeup as well,
I
right?
do. I do. I call
I
it,
love it.
my intro is usually I review skincare, hair care, and a little bit of makeup along the way.
Yes, I love that. And so everyone, please go check out Beyond 50 Skin. She's very thorough. Her videos are wonderful. Her device videos are wonderful because you also dabbled in some at-home devices as well. And yeah, just love
Yep.
your channel. So let's go ahead and get started talking about the Nira. So I have done a whole video about the Nira Pro, about the technology and all of that. So if you want to check that out, I will link that in the description box below. We're not going to do that today. So how did you use this device, Cindy?
We agreed to use it for 60 days, so I used it the full 60 days, and I used it in the morning and the evening. And the area that I used from was about the area just down from my ear on either side all the way across. And that took me on average about 9 minutes to complete that treatment. And at first I was using it at level 5, but then that seemed a bit too warm, so I turned it down to level 4. So I would say through 90% of my trial, I was using it at level 4 with no serious discomfort, just some warmth.
Yeah, same here. I did about a 4 or 5 and ended up sticking with the intensity 4. And I used it on the same area. And what's interesting about this device is that you can use it here as well, that is like the area that on most devices you
Right. Yeah.
cannot use it, is on this area. So did you use it here too?
I did not. I have a history
Okay.
of thyroid disease. So I skipped
Mhm.
that area
So
just
yeah.
because most doctors will tell you when using any device over your thyroid area, you're not really, if you have a predisposition to nodules, that even touching and sort of massaging that area is really not a good idea. It just exacerbates them for whatever reason. So I always skip that area when I'm doing any of my devices.
That's great to know. So thank you so much for sharing that. I love
Yeah.
that. Okay, so and I used it morning and evening as well. I will state that I was not 100% consistent with morning and evening. I would say it was 98% consistent. There was definitely a morning when I was rushing out the door and just didn't get to it,
Yeah.
or vice versa.
Yeah.
So I will say for me, I wasn't 100%, but definitely within that high 98.
Awesome. Awesome.
Um,
I think that counts. So I think you're good.
yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, after you did your treatment, let's talk little bit about the steps that you
Okay,
did
yeah.
after your treatment, because I thought the your advice to use the Nira and then do LED and then do microcurrent, I think that's what you recommended. Is that how you ended up using it?
Yes. So, and yeah, that's a great point to bring up. If you're using the Nira with other devices like LED and microcurrent, like you had said, I like to do my LED red light therapy after the heated treatment. So after any
Hmm.
heated devices, I like to do that LED because also it can help accelerate like the healing process,
Yeah,
and
I'm exactly the same,
you're doing
always.
that
Yeah.
whole, yeah, and it's like helping to build collagen, and so does
Hmm.
LED. So you're kind of like it's, yeah.
I do tend to get a bit of redness, especially after using the Pro and the Precision, any of the newer devices, any heated device, I will definitely get redness. But if I do a 5 to 10 minute LED red light session, depending on whether I'm using my mask or a panel, it's gone. I mean, that was my
Yeah.
biggest result using LED was just reducing overall inflammation, which I always tend to get, especially I don't know if it's hormonal, but in the evening I usually get these beet red cheeks. So I
Mhm.
have a huge arsenal of things to reduce redness. And LED is
Yes.
definitely number one.
Yes, and it's great for after, yeah, I use it also after radio frequency. And then
Mhm.
it's great to do, if you can, microcurrent after that. Your face is like
Yep.
nice and warmed up and it's all ready to go because you're now like working the muscle, you
Yep.
know? Yeah. So that's
Definitely.
kind of how I did that. So for skincare products, I definitely use a retinoid. I don't use tretinoin, but I do use a retinoid. I also use copper peptides. I also use my one skin peptide and growth factors. And
Nice,
I
nice.
do
Growth
use
factors is something I
Trimix.
didn't think about including, but that would have been a nice boost. Yeah.
Yeah, I always use them. And I did also use the Nira peptide serum as well.
Yep. I
So
definitely
on
used a
this.
peptide serum. I finished up one of my peptides. I used the Medicate peptide, and then I switched over to the one from The Ordinary with the peptides and the HA because I had finished that up. So yeah, I definitely included peptides because they are just so moisturizing, especially after using a heated device. It always just feels so nice
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
moisturizing. And I
Yeah.
guess we both have learned that after using with our experience with the precision that it is really important to use a hydrating product after you use the Nira, especially because of the heat intensity.
Yes. Yes. So you really need to
Yeah,
be,
that was a
and
learning
that's
curve
another
for
reason.
both of us.
Yes. And I used a neck cream because I also feel like neck creams tend to be very thick and rich. That's like
Hmm.
why they're neck creams, is
Yeah.
that hydration as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all those hydrating ingredients in there as well, which is really
Yeah, well, it
important.
sounds
But
like we
yes,
use pretty much the same skincare routine.
yeah, pretty much.
I just did I did vitamin C. I do an anti-pigmentation serum. Then I did my peptide serum. Then I did add in, and I don't know if you did or not, copper peptides. Did you mention that? I think you said
Yep.
you did or no? Yeah. So I used
Yep.
copper peptides. And then I would use my advanced neck cream, the dermatology one.
Yep.
Love that. And just, go throughout my day. And then, of course, sunscreen. Of course.
Yeah. Of course, sunscreen.
Of course, of course.
Yes.
And then in
Of
the
course.
evening, I also added in a retinoid product. I
Mhm.
had to scale down my retinoids for the past year. My skin's been kind of irritated. So I'd use a retinoid product 2 nights a week, and then just a gentle exfoliating product a couple nights a week, an AHA, BHA combination product.
Yeah,
And then the
me
rest
too.
of the nights, so that would be two, and then the rest of the nights, probably 2 or 3 nights a week, I would do just a hydrating treatment, just kind of a luxurious extra mask
Yeah, me
or
too.
hydrating treatment. So yeah,
Yeah, and I
it sounds
forgot
like
I
we
did
pretty
use
much have the
vitamin C
exact
too.
same
So we
skincare
pretty
routine.
much had the same exact like
Yeah.
major, yeah. So
And
that's
I use
good.
microcurrent, you use microcurrent in the morning. So, or do you
Yes.
use microcurrent in the morning or the evening? What do you prefer?
It just depends on
Okay,
how
yeah.
much
So I
time
did
I've
not,
got.
just to point out, I did not use microcurrent twice a day. So we were mentioning that
Okay,
it's
yeah.
great to use microcurrent after you finish your LED session, but I did
Yeah.
not use microcurrent and an LED twice a day, just to
No.
clear it, make it
Yeah.
clear.
Sometimes, yeah, I wasn't consistent with using microcurrent after every Nira Pro or no,
Yeah.
just
I,
yeah, I
I did
just
it
used it
my
when I wanted to.
5 days a week is what I usually
Yeah,
do. And same
that's
with the
usually what
LED.
I
So it
do.
wasn't every day, correct? Good point. Yeah, you got to follow
Yeah.
instructions with these devices. Overusing is not good.
Yeah, exactly. So, how did you find using it? Like the ease of use? What were your
Okay.
thoughts on that?
Because I had used the precision and that was such a quick
Hmm.
treatment, when I first started using this, especially since I went from such a large area, I was expecting the large head to go pretty quickly.
Hmm.
But because of the duration between beeps, it was about a 9 minute session, which surprised me. I was thinking a 4 minute session, kind of like when I do the zip
Hmm.
right out of the box, the lift program, like 4 minutes. That's me.
Hmm.
If you're familiar with me on my channel, I like it quick and easy.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yep.
I'm not exactly one of the more patient people with my skincare. So I kind of keep to 1 or 2 devices a day. So adding this in was a little bit time consuming for me. And I did learn at first when I was walking around the house with it, it would like do the misfire. So I was like 12 minutes later. But I eventually got to the point where I knew the right pressure so I could actually function in motion because
Hmm.
I just can't stand there in front of the mirror. So for 10 minutes straight, it's just not going to happen.
Oh,
So
yeah, right. And I noticed that too, that the duration, when you put it on the skin, there's a longer period of hearing that beat than the
yeah.
precision. So this
About
definitely
three
took
seconds
longer.
or 4 seconds
Yeah,
sometimes,
it is. And that
depending.
makes a
And
big
I
difference
noticed it
when you're
was
moving it.
different.
Hmm.
It wasn't always 3 seconds. It wasn't always 4 seconds. It was very
I didn't
interesting.
notice that. That's interesting.
Or it could just be
I
me.
didn't
Maybe I wasn't paying
really,
attention.
I didn't notice, but I
No.
don't. I
How
don't
long
think
did
I
your
was paying
treatment take?
attention.
Because we were doing about the same area, about 9
And I
minutes?
did this. I would
Oh,
say,
you did the whole
yeah,
thing.
it took some, you only did went over once, right?
Yes, yes, only once.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me
that's
too.
a
Me
good
too.
good to point out. Yeah, you
And
don't do
it
it
just
twice.
overlap because you go to one and then you
Yeah,
overlap. Yeah.
slightly. Yeah.
So yeah, it was about that time frame. I noticed it was definitely longer, but I mean this area tends to be a lot larger than this area for sure.
Yeah.
But I was with you that I thought that it was going to be quicker, but it wasn't because of that large head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
that was a surprise to me.
it was a surprise to me too. So another surprise for me was the battery. I
Oh, the
felt
battery. Yes.
okay. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. It's not just me. I had
No.
to,
And Glitzy Fritzy did a review on her use with the Pro. I can't remember what area she used it on. She's like, the battery. So it's
yes.
a common issue.
Okay. So yeah, it was about every fourth or fifth time I had to charge it. Like it
Mine
was
was even
very,
more. If I didn't constantly keep it charged in
yes,
the charger,
it was probably
I would get
more. Yeah, for
halfway through
me.
my evening treatment
Yes.
and I couldn't finish.
That happened to me so often as
Yeah,
well.
really
This
frustrating.
lasts, this lasts forever.
Oh yeah, that one lasts forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've
That
even
lasts
forgotten
forever.
my charger on vacation with the precision and it lasted.
Yeah. Yeah. This one is the opposite. So that's something, yeah, viewers to
Definitely a
keep in mind.
negative. And the
That's a
duration of
con.
treatment was a negative for me, just personally. I mean, some people, it depends on your patient's level, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm super excited to see the results, and we're going
Oh
to share
gosh,
our
me too.
results right
Like,
now.
have you peeked at your results yet or not yet?
Very little,
Okay.
very
Yeah,
little.
I haven't either. So I'm
And I'm going to do a
excited.
full, yeah, in this video. We're going to do that. So I'm super excited.
So we're going to do side by sides in we each of us did 3 different lighting sources. So I think that we were really thorough
Yes.
about our lighting. So I just wanted to point that out. We both spent a lot of time and effort to make sure our lighting was,
Yeah.
good. We did an outside, right? We did outside
Yeah.
lighting, studio lighting, and then just regular indoor lighting. That's what I
Yeah,
did.
just like I did
Yeah.
in my indoor bathroom.
Yep, me too,
Yes, and
bathroom lighting.
I'm glad that you pointed that out. So that's really important to note because lighting is always an issue.
Always.
So we figured that's kind of our way of getting around, hopefully, the lighting. And I will also do black and white because I feel
I was
like,
thinking about doing that too. I noticed Penn Smith did a couple black and whites in her before and afters, and it's
Mhm.
just so much clearer, the results. So I thought that was a great
Yes,
tip.
because you get rid of all of the light. And especially when you're talking about fine lines and wrinkles, you really can see the
Yeah.
wrinkles and where they are. And I feel like that's a really good comparison.
Yeah. So we'll both be including those, definitely.
Okay,
So I'm
great.
excited to see what happened.
I'm excited too. Go over and check out Beyond 50 Skin. That is where you can see her before and after photos. And I'm so thankful that you were here, Cindy.
Thank you.
so much
Thank you for
sharing.
doing this
And
collab with me. It was all
yes,
awesome. Yeah. It's
thank
always
you.
fun
And
to see. It's always fun to do something like this with somebody else because
yes,
everybody is going to have a
yeah,
different response to this. I mean, I guess it was a survey kind of a thing, but it's like 50-50. You can't
yeah,
just until you do it, you just don't know if it's going to work for you. So, and I
right,
think again,
exactly.
yeah, pointing
And
out
neither
the
of us know. Like I haven't seen it. Your results. You haven't
no,
seen my results. We don't.
no.
Yeah, no. So I'm
So we're doing the big
excited to see your
reveal.
results. We're going to be doing the big reveal.
That's right.
Yeah, in
That's
this
right.
video now. So
Yeah, so
and
so exciting.
I will link her video in the comment section as well as the description box. So make sure
Perfect.
you go over
Perfect.
and check out.
Great. Thank
Cindy from
you.
Beyond 50. Thank you so much for being here.
All right, let's go ahead and look at my before and after photos. I have done outdoor lighting, studio lighting, as well as indoor lighting. I want you to see the difference. I've done a black and white photo for each set of photos as well, because I feel like the black and white, once you get rid of the lighting, you can really see the true lines of what's really going on. So let's look at the outdoor. I don't really want to take these into consideration because I feel like it shows that there is a lot of change when in reality, if you look at the difference between outdoor and studio, that's a huge difference. These are my afters. These are my afters. So this is not a good representation that I want to talk about. When we're talking about studio lighting, I feel like it's just a bit grainy. So I really don't want to talk about these either because I do feel that my indoor lighting is just a lot better representation. And this is really, you can really see what's going on compared to this. So let me know your thoughts. But in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the results of the indoor lighting. So let's talk about the differences. So first of all, I just want to show you the difference in why I use black and white photo. If you look over here in the colored, you can see here in this area that there's two sets of lines, and here the black and white just really shows you how deep they are and just kind of really how long they are, which is why I like to do black and white as well for each set of photos. So let's talk about the before here and the after, and if I'm seeing any differences. I feel like there might be something going on down here in the after as far as this area goes. There's a bit of minimization happening and very subtle. And of course, I always say that subtle change is change. Same goes for this area here. I feel like that there might be something going on. Now, if we're looking at this really deep line, I'm not seeing any differences. However, note that Nira is not really for deep lines. They are more for fine lines, wrinkles, and that is also what they were FDA cleared to be able to do. So those crow's feet, around the lip area, if they're very light, like minimal lines, that's more of what they do. So I'm not sure that you're going to see any differences with a deep line. This, it looks to me like I said, there is something going on. These are 6-week results. It's always good to always get 90 days, but I feel like at 6 weeks, you can see some subtle results to let you know if it is something to continue or not. So you're going to have to make that decision, for yourself, based on, if you wanted to continue. Do I think that the Nira Pro will be able to get rid of these lines down here? I do not. They may be able to get a bit better. However, for me, I am going to try other avenues as well. So I'm going to do chemical peels. I feel like chemical peels really work more. Let me say this. I feel like chemical peels are a bit better at fine lines or deeper lines than maybe what the Nira Pro can do. And maybe both of those can even provide better results. So can I recommend this device? I think that at this point, it's going to be up to you. I do see some subtle changes. I think that your change is going to be very minimal if you're talking about the neck area. I'm not sure that you can get a lot better results than this. You'd have to kind of make that decision for yourself. So let me know if you have any questions about this device. I would love to know.